Hey, I'm here at my office moving some display cakes around, and I was thinking that I wanted to show something that a bride was talking to me about, the size cake that she wanted. And she'd said that she'd gone to somebody else who said, oh yeah, we can do it in a different size, and told me the tier combinations that they had suggested. And I said to her, you realize it's going to look really different? She's like, no, what do you mean? So I got out my dummy cakes and I showed her. But I was kind of surprised that the other person hadn't told her that there was going to be a difference visually, and I started thinking maybe that's something that I could point out to people in a little video, because it's easier to show than to talk about on paper. So this is a video, not a blog post. Anyways, let's say somebody comes to you and says, I want a cake this shape. Fine. You have the picture, you're looking at it, saying, I can do that. Oh, but we don't need that many servings, so we want it to be only 3 tiers. So if you figure it out, that you can do it with 3 tiers. Let's say that you have, this is, I think this is a 4, 6, yeah, this is a 4, 6, 8, 11. It's that combination on that one. This is a 6, 9, 12. So let's say you told her, oh, we can do 3 tiers, and she wanted to do something like this because this is what it turned out for the serving count that you need. This looks a lot different. So if a bride comes to you and says, you know, I want to do something different size-wise, just make sure that proportionally it's going to be the same as what you're talking about the original being. Because if you bring a cake that looks like this, it might have the same decorations on it, but she's going to be thinking this. She's not going to be thinking this shape. And I tell people it's more upright or it's more like a pyramid, just so they kind of have that visual in their heads. And another example is this one that I have that is, it's got some taller tiers on it. So this one is a 5, 7, 9. The 5 is 5 inches tall, the 7 is 4 inches tall, and the 9 is 6 inches tall. So you might have somebody who says, I don't need that many servings, and you're not even thinking about the double barrels. If you do a 5, 7, 9, that's what it looks like. So just make sure that when you're talking to brides about proportions and serving counts, that you know if she brings you a picture with a double barrel on it, you need to point out to her that you're going to probably have to do a double barrel to get that same visual look. Because if you do this, it's not going to be what she's thinking, and they're not going to be happy. Because people see this, but they don't think about this being a taller tier. And sometimes in magazines it's a very slight difference. Like this one is not as tall as this one. So you might not even notice that this one's a little bit bigger than this. But when you point it out, you say, oh yeah, but just looking at it, you might not. But when you point this out to them, then they say, oh, I see the difference. And it is good to have the dummies in the consult room if you have a room that where you're doing the consultations, because then you can actually visually show people, and that seems to help a lot. So I just thought I would put that out there and make sure that what you're talking about when you're talking to a bride is the same shape as what she's talking about, because the cake is going to look completely different if you don't.